Played me these songs which were going to be on Hunky Dory one by one, and they were just fantastic. And I said, David, these songs are just unbelievable. He said, I want the album to be very piano orientated. So he said he got some manuscript paper, but make some notes on all of the pieces as I play them. So I was doing all that. And we got to Life on Mars, and he played that, and I can remember saying to David, that is probably one of the best songs I've ever heard. It's just absolutely fantastic. And he said, think of it as a piano solo. I said, what? He said, think of it as a piano piece. That's how I want you to think of it. I said, okay. He said, go and play it for me. I went, oh, well, okay, well, how do you want me to play it? He said, you know how I want you to play it. I said, I don't, that's why I'm bloody well asking you, I don't know. And he said, well, just play it. So I played it. He said, that's how I want it. And he taught me a big lesson. He said, Rick, when you're doing albums of your own, pick musicians who you think understand you. It might be a bit mental, but think that they have to understand. Because if you have to try and explain what you're trying to do to a music, it won't work. And I took that advice. The other advice he gave me was always write everything on the piano, which I did. But anyway, we came to record Life on Mars. I'm very proud to be part of it. And when David passed away, I have to be honest, I was absolutely gutted. And I was asked by the BBC to go to London to a big radio show run by a famous jockey in England called Simon Mayo. They were doing the whole day on David, and so I went down to do the programme, and we took phone calls and talked about him and reminisced, because I knew him socially as well, because we were neighbours in Switzerland for 4 years, so there's a lot of lovely stories coming out. And it came to 10 to 7, the programme finished at 7, and so I put a last track on it, and Simon said, hey Rick, I've got an idea. I said, what's that? He said, in the next studio is Elton John's piano, which is absolutely true. It's the 6th floor, and the piano was taken up 25 years ago, and nobody will take it down. So it stayed there. He said, why don't you go in there, it's all webcammed and mic'd up, and why don't you play Life on Mars to finish the programme? I said, well, a bit of warning might have been nice. He said, no, go on, it'll be fine. Oh, all right. So I went out, I was walking out the door, and he said, oh, by the way, he said, make sure you're out by 5 seconds to 7, because that's when the news cuts in. He said, you've got to be fit. I went, how will I know when it's 5 seconds to 7? He said, I'll have a girl hold a clock up. I went, bloody hell. And he did. So I went in there, there's a girl holding the clock. So I thought, I know how long it is, so I was able to just like slightly slow down at the end and get it to time right. And 3 days later, Simon called me. He said, hey Rick, he said, you know we webcammed your Life on Mars? I said, oh yeah. He said, it's had 3 million hits. I said, you're joking. He said, no, you've gone viral. I said, I haven't had that since 1973. He said, no. He said, it means something completely different now. I went, all right. And he said, everybody's saying, why don't you release it as a charity single? And I hate charity singles. Most of them lose money, there's warehouses full of them. And I said, no, that's not a good idea. And they said, do it for a cancer charity or whatever. And I spoke to my lovely wife, Rachel, and she said, you know, David, well, what would he say? I said, he'd probably say, do it if it was for a good charity. And she said, well, do it then. So we did, and it was very successful, made a few bob for the charity. It was number 1 for about 8 weeks, so they said, it did really well. But also, it influenced me to do, because people were saying, do more piano albums, do some more piano stuff. So it was amazing, because even after he passed away, David was still influencing me. So I thank him forever for this. And I can't do a piano concert at all without playing some as a tribute to my dear friend David. So this is Space Oddity and Life on Mars.
Yeah.